Okay, finally. Okay, so where's the video? Come on, give me the video. There we go. Okay.
Good morning.
All right. So.
Or good afternoon, eh?
Okay, so 2 minutes.
Good day.
Yes. 2 minutes before we go live. 2 minutes before we go live. Program audio out. Five, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome. You are here with Ryan O'Neill Knight on the Business Lunch Podcast. Again, we don't have lunch today, but we are working on that. So what we want to do is actually find the best oxtail restaurants around town, and maybe we'll have that to share. But thank you for taking a break with me during the lunch hour, really to, analyze how the day is going, how the progress is going with our businesses. And if you don't know who I am, my name again is Ryan Knight, one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. We work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to figure out what stage their business is in, and then help them create a strategy to grow their companies exponentially. And I'm an entrepreneur myself. I do run a company called Detailing Nights. We provide mobile waterless car cleaning. So we go to your house or your office, clean your car on the spot without using water, and our plant-based, eco-friendly cleaning supplies. And what I'm most proud of with DK is our youth entrepreneurship program. So stay tuned, because if you know a high school or college student that is looking for a summer job, may have had trouble finding a job last year, definitely send them our way. We want to show them they have the potential to start their own business or work with one of our other licensees as a detailer this upcoming season. So all that to say, we started the Business Lunch Podcast to really follow the journey of Detailing Nights as it grows to expand. So we're looking to hit that $1 million mark. We've gotten about halfway there in years past, but now we want to break through that $1 million mark. And I'd say this year, we're in the off season. We're just past about 20,000. So when the season hits, we do have a lot of work to do. But to do that is part of our expansion plan to license DK across Canada and into the US. So as we hit more cities, we'll keep you up to date. But the way to expand and the way to grow, there takes a lot of support. So that's why we bring on guests to talk about what supports Detailing Nights actually plugs into and uses to grow. So we started off this podcast series with an interview with Empowered Forex. Thanks to Dabo, shout out to him. But today we have the founder, brainchild of Empowered Forex that I've been able to really lock into with their services. And even before that, Chris-Beth Cowie, who is our guest, helped to design Detailing Nights training programs. So thank you so much for being here, Chris-Beth.
Thank you, Ryan.
It is always a pleasure. And so before we jump into what DK needs to do to get better, we like to find out a little bit about our guests. So first we do something called this or that.
Ooh.
So I'm going to give you 2 options. You let me know which one you appreciate better. So first one, eating in or eating out?
I like to eat in.
Okay.
But I do like eating out as well. So let's go. Today I feel like eating out.
Okay, I like that. Are you a morning person or a night person?
I would say more morning than night.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, yeah, I'm total flip on
Yeah.
that. Morning is not my jam.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you appreciate remote work or in-person work better, or which do you prefer?
That's COVID has allowed us to work from home. It's hard. I'm in the middle. I believe in remote work, but I also love in person because hey, you can touch the person, you
Yes.
can have that after banter, you could see their full body expression. It does something for you when you're in person, but I will go with this at. This and that.
Right.
I like to make
We
up.
will create our own words, people. Don't worry.
Yes.
Are you Apple or Android?
At the moment, I'm Apple because, and I actually chose an old. I went back to an old Apple phone just because my Android phone got wet. So I'm in limbo right now. But I would say my go-to is Android.
And the repair doesn't cover water damage?
No, I got the phone for free. So
Okay, so I'm curious, do you know the best place to get oxtail around the city?
I've been to Onyx Sports
Okay,
Bar
yes,
and Grill,
yes.
and they do a good oxtail poutine. So I'll give them a
Yes.
shout out. I do
Okay.
love it, and that's in Brampton. So
Yes, and I know it might not be on their menu, but they do offer oxtail and rice and peas. Maybe they made something special for me because I was so adamant. I was like, if you're doing an oxtail poutine, there's oxtail back there. So can you put it on my rice and peas,
Yes.
please? But again, appreciate that you're here.
thank you.
Let the people know you're the founder of Empowered Forex, but how did that start and what do you want to do with Empowered Forex to support our businesses?
Hey, so as Ryan said, I'm really excited to be here. Empowered Facts started out in 2014, really going into schools and community organizations talking about leadership, community engagement, and it evolved into entrepreneurship, right? At the time, our name was Empowered for Excellence, because I truly believe that we all have greatness within us, and, it is up to us to take that initiative to move forward. There's life challenges, setbacks, our own mindset. I feel like at that point in time, too, I started talking a lot about, and over the time, talking a lot about mental poverty. I find ourselves oftentimes talking about lack and, just this, I can't do, it's impossible, and my own journey, and fighting through that to realize that I am valuable, I have value, and I can make that value multiplied by building community and being part of community. And so I think, in 2015 thereabouts, we might have met for the first time.
Shout out to Angela Bennett.
Yes,
who's
from
running
Fuse.
Fuse,
Yes,
yes,
which
part of the
Brampton Board of Trade. Yes, yes. So that's how we connected also many years ago. But really over the past 4 years now, we wanted a name change. We got this location here at 16 Rutherford Road in Brampton, where we have a co-working and shared private offices and shared workspaces, as well as an event room. And Empowered for Excellence was a mouthful, so we kind of shortened it down. So Empowered for X was born during that time period, but really holding true to 4 core principles. We believe in collaboration across the board. Community is built through collaboration, so we look at co-working, co-learning, co-giving, and what is that last learning. Learning. It is so.
Living? Was it living?
So we have,
yeah.
I did say living.
Okay.
Co-working, co-living, co-giving, and co-learning. And all of that in this collaborative space. And we bring in facilitators from all different walks of life, different subject matter expertise, and really believe entrepreneurship is that vehicle. So a lot of the conversations and message that I bring to folks today, yes, I still talk about leadership, community engagement, but I really believe entrepreneurship, and I talk about entrepreneurial leadership, right? Being that vehicle to help you live that ultimate life that you envision for yourself. I'm not saying having a job is not good. people have been able to build flourishing lives from that. But if you do have that burning desire to create and invent, and I believe that we are created as creators, right?
True.
We
Yes.
think about so many amazing things, and then being able to bring that message and learning to the entrepreneurial community.
Love that.
And through our co-living, that since you mentioned it, really looking at community and group economics in this way. I've been able
yes.
to be part of the Pomoja community, and
That has the land? the 100 acres?
they do have 100 acres,
Yes.
and really looking at farming that land, developing that land to, one, provide food for the community, but also to be able to bring that food to market, right? And so garlic is going to come out in spring. We got lots of garlic coming, but really looking at that shared living environment, shared spaces as well. So Empowered Flex, where we're going, and the shift really focusing ourselves as a training and consulting firm, in particular for social enterprises, because we do believe in impact businesses and working with organizations and founders who have this desire. Yes, I want to create a business for good, basically. Yes, profitable, but also what other impacts can we have? And I think us working together, also many years ago, DK was, when I first learned about what you were doing with DK, I was just like, this is amazing, helping youth. And at the time, you were also working with people that were previously incarcerated as well. And the eco-friendly bit, right? And so I was like, you can clean a car with how many ounces of water of solution? I was like, mind blown, which is super awesome. And to know what your journey has been and to be part of that journey, I'm very grateful as well, Ryan.
Much appreciated. And I'm curious because you do talk to a lot of entrepreneurs. And what have you seen as a trend that causes entrepreneurs to not start off on the right foot? I won't say they fail, but what are they typically not putting in place foundational-wise that causes their journey to be a bit more rocky?
That's a great question. I would say, as entrepreneurs, I mentioned, we are visionaries. The vision, like I remember we sat down and you were like, I want world domination. And I'm like,
You're on this journey with me. We are still working on it.
I went into this crazy dream. But it's so amazing. But at the same time, I think I've been, over the past years, I've been like, Ryan, rein it in. You gotta conquer, we started talking about going deep before we go wide. And I think as entrepreneurs, sometimes we are so passionate about our dreams and vision. And as a result, we're like, we wanna boil the ocean, which is an impossible task. Right? We want to do everything at once. So the recommendation really is go to that minimal viable product or minimal viable service, minimal viable entity that you can then gradually build your way through. Most entrepreneurs that we work with don't have 100,000, 250,000 just sitting to invest in a business. They're coming from that bootstrap. Listen, I'm gonna burn the midnight oil. I'm gonna use some of my savings. I'm gonna make this happen. And really looking at it from the vantage point, let's start small, create great traction, and scale. So that's really something that I would recommend.
And for this show, we try to stay away from just theory, so tactical, actionable stuff that we can do as business owners. Using Detailing Nights as an example, you're really an advocate for market research. So I'm curious, what did you see with DK in the way that we should be doing market research, especially as we're going into new cities and new countries, that other entrepreneurs could also take away?
And I will point to a tool, right? I love the business model canvas, and I use a lot the social enterprise vision, which adds in that impact conversation, right? If you're not familiar with the business model canvas, which I've like, Ryan,
I've been in those webinars.
You have, you gotta do this stuff. It just helps you map out your business on a one-pager, right? Yes, you may need other pages and stuff, but simple notes. And so that section where it talks about the customer segment, let's go even the problem sections, because those first two, the problem and customer segment, really requires you to understand the need, the desire, the want from the perspective of the clientele, right? And so you're talking about dirty cars. Okay, so we're winter season, it's cold. Your guys are not hitting the streets now. They if it's underground,
Yes.
right? So here it is. We're talking about peak season. The sun is hot. All of these things. You may say, and I refer back to your how does my partner say it? Your Genesis story. You were knocking the streets, right?
Oh,
Looking
yes.
for
Door-to-door.
the door-to-door guerrilla marketing.
Yes.
So that's a form of market research. It takes time. But by you showing up at the door without a car, why would you do that? Right? You're saying, I have a car cleaning business and I'm at the door with no car. Maybe the people have left, all of those things. But your chances of getting a sale or engaging with a customer with a car would be much higher with someone with a car on the driving
Right,
outside
outside.
of
See
the
it,
lot,
yes.
right? So again, when we do market research, there's two forms that we talk about. Primary is getting in the face of the customer, sitting them down, either in a focus group, you can use surveys, product sampling, different things like that, to get people engaged in that way. Or secondary market research. I invite everyone, go and get a free library card, find a business librarian, let them help you learn to navigate the databases. There's a lot of
Business
content out.
librarian? What is
Yes. So in our libraries, most library circuits have a floor oftentimes dedicated to business books and business in general.
yes, yes.
And they have oftentimes a librarian dedicated with the business knowledge to navigate the databases.
That is good to know.
Yes,
'Cause
and it's free.
You see, I do have my Brampton library card, and I don't think I've been there this year, so I definitely have to tap in.
Yes.
One thing I think you mentioned on a webinar is you can tap into some learning workshop, like LinkedIn Learning, I think you can get for free. And there was something you were showing called Prism.
Yes.
Or is it
yes.
Enviro?
Yeah, so the tool is called Prism. So if
Okay.
you're trying to reach customers, so different types of business model, you either going B2B, so business to business, B2C, business to consumer, you can do B2G, different things like that. But in your case, where you're saying we want to reach the homeowner, the car owner, that in that way, you want to, Prism will be a great tool. You put in a postal code. I haven't tested it for the US, and I know intentions to expand to the US, but you put in a postal code, and that tool, the free version, gives you so much insight into the household income. What are they thinking like? What do they do for fun? All of these things to give you that demographic, psychographic, all of the information that you need to say, this might be an ideal neighborhood because these people demonstrate that they have disposable income to clean their dirty cars.
And that's one piece that, as we're going into different cities, because, hey, from Brampton, I kind of understand the landscape. As you mentioned, dominate the block first, so focus on one city instead of world domination. But now that I know a lot about Brampton, it's how do you duplicate that research in other cities? So that tool definitely going to get our team to get laser focused on it. So now with Empowered for X, and again, how you support entrepreneurs, DK, we're a client, so we come to you and say, we have this mega vision. What do you typically sit down with entrepreneurs and do first to help them get going? And as they're looking to scale, how do you support them?
Well, marketing is a huge area, right? And I'm very blessed to have a dynamic marketing lead on our team, Melise. She's amazing.
And we've seen some assets, promotional assets for DK. So we are a client, not just
Yes, thank you so much. But yeah, really understanding the journey. What are the goals, right? So you may say, I think you had the first 100 cities, and it's like, okay, 100, yes, but which one are we? Yes, right? So you have to build that timeline and understand your marketing goals. I believe if you don't tap into digital marketing in this era, you're doing a lot of groundwork still. Like you're doing that guerrilla marketing style, which is nothing's wrong with that. That may be very effective for your business, but to scale, we need to leverage technology as a tool to help us do so. So tapping into the various social media platforms. And I don't say all of them, I say the ones relevant to your customer. So where your customer is showing up, right? So marketing is another. The other one that we talk to our clients with in terms of scale is really looking at that operational needs, right? So you as the entrepreneur, it is important to get mentorship and coaching, right? You're now leading a team, and we had a conversation, you're onboarding new staff to help you do all of these things. Okay, let's look at their day-to-day management, because you have, and I know you, Ryan, you got a lot on your plate, and most entrepreneurs, we have a lot on our plates. Yeah. So having someone to help us bounce ideas off of, to help us delegate more effectively. I oftentimes talk about my 5 Ds of leadership. And so when we work with entrepreneurs, the 5 Ds go like this. You are responsible to decide on the direction. You're saying we're going to expand our country, our company over 100 cities, right? So, okay, that's the direction we want to go. That would result in X number of revenue. And sometimes I find entrepreneurs don't like to talk about the dollars. They just say, I want to reach 100 cities. But what does that equate to in terms of impact? Right. The people, number of lives you want to affect. But then it also produces a result for the amount that will be earned, right? So getting really behind the why for your decision, right, is really important. The second one is there's some things as a leader you must do, right? And so this is where we say, Ryan, your to-do list is like over 100 things. Yes. Which ones do you have to do? Or, let's get those things done. And if it's not you, then it brings us to the 3rd D, which is delegate. Can I delegate to someone else to help me navigate this? Because the truth is, as an entrepreneur myself, I've been there. Burnout is real. The stresses of, paying people, delivering the value, all of these things just sometimes builds on you, right? And it's now being able to say, okay, how can I help to relieve some of those responsibilities? The 4th one is really looking at understanding your vision is, yes, I want world domination. I can't get to 100 cities if I don't even get to my first 10. So just understanding that you may need to delay some of those expectations or tasks from today, right?
Well, the 4th one is delay?
Delay.
Okay, so deciding, doing, delegating, and delay. Okay.
Because you cannot do it all. And that's where it goes back to, we can't boil the ocean, right? And then the last, mop the sea, yeah. You can't mop the sea. I love that. I will use that one as well. And then the last one is dumping. Okay, so here it is. Okay. And that's where we say we get rid of stuff that isn't aligned. Here it is, you're saying, okay, I want to expand into my first 100 cities. And I think when I looked at your cities, you identified high mobility, trafficked areas, metropolitan areas, busy cities. Great. But someone says, Ryan, I live in the boonies somewhere. My population is 1,000. You need to come here, Ryan. We have 30 cars. I want you to come here. No. They want to take you off your course. Okay. You may say, you know what, I want to delay that, but the value, the impact, you may altogether say, listen, that's off the table. It's a non-starter at this moment. You're right. Those are the 5 Ds, and that's the encouragement. When we sit down with entrepreneurs, it's just really understanding what are the priorities, making a plan to get to that, and then the beauty about our consulting firm, we are able to bring on entrepreneurs and other business professionals to help you. We talk a lot about shifting the shift. DIY, so where you're doing it yourself, to modify, making others do it for you. And that's where our team comes on board to support you on your journey.
Wonderful. And I'm curious now, you see DK is going for world domination. What is the expansion plans for Empowered for X? Like, what's on your mind to grow, and what's the next milestone for you?
So we are looking, I mean, COVID had its challenges, but it also created a lot of blessings. And one of that was us being able to be more virtual. Yes, we have a physical location and it is getting used by our local community and things like that here in Brampton. We did expand to 2 additional Starter Light locations providing virtual membership services, looking at increasing that expansion over the next year, as well as we were able to reach entrepreneurs from a consulting standpoint coast to coast, right? And U.S. So
we had some on the webinars I saw from Africa
that
joined in.
Listen, it was amazing. And so the goal really is to continue to build our clientele across Canada and the U.S. In particular. So.
All right. And so what we do as we wrap up, getting close to the finishing time, over the next 7 days, what can Ryan with Detailing Nights do that 7 days from now I can check in with you and say, hey, we were able to action this that you feel would be keeping us in the right direction and positively progressing the company?
Yeah, so I mean, you talked about customer research, market research, the customer element. And if you are planning to move into a new city, I need you to know who are the competitors in that space. Right? And so if you now have your competitor list, you could say, okay, I understand their pricing, I understand how they work. Are there any direct competition in the sense, do people in that city already do mobile detailing, right? Okay, so now we can then understand potentially if you were to go to Stats Canada or even in the US, they have databases where you can say this company is generating X number amount on an annual basis. Our expected revenue could be X, right? So you're trying to understand where the market is. But I think that competitive analysis is very important. And then understanding what key business resources exist within that city to help you flourish, right?
Yes.
Is there a local chamber that needs to know about you? Or your franchisee, right? So you're saying franchisee, you need to know what supports exist, right? Which community organization. And we love Beck. That's how we first met.
Brampton Entrepreneur Center.
Yes. And one of the great things about an organization like that, they are here to support entrepreneurs. So if your franchisees are plugging into cities, it's to say, you need to know what exists in order to help your business flourish. The chamber, the local chamber as well, right? Really important. So that would be my homework for you. Some market research about the competitive analysis and which organizations in that city exist to help entrepreneurs grow.
Wonderful. Okay, so to recap on the homework from last week that Tim Frey gave me was to take action and start to develop resources around me that can help get things done. My action, so my work that I feel like I did was hiring Empowered for X to help us with our marketing, and that now has allowed us to put together the promotional materials. But now, over the next 7 days, we are going to dig into the initial 10 cities that we're starting with to see who our competitors are there, and then looking at what resources in each of those cities do exist to support us moving into that location. So again, Chris-Beth, thank you so much for being here and for the homework. I will get to work, but we will see you next week as we check in on Ryan's progress for world domination, but focused and looking at what's next. And also, we're going to see if we can have some food so that the business lunch is actually a
business lunch. But then you're talking and eating.
No, we'll just talk about it.
Okay.
Then we'll do our interview, and then we'll eat. So join us then. We'll see you next time on the business lunch.